Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Guide video. I know it's been a while. I'm Max and the channel still exists. We're just not going to be regularly uploading to it quite as much as you've already noticed because this channel is here mainly for tutorials and helpful content. And so we'll post that on a schedule. Well, not on a schedule. We'll just post it whenever convenient opportunities allow. But if you want to check out all the news and sales, things going on, my colleague Francie on the Out of Spec podcast channel has been killing it over there. You can check that out. But here, the focus of today's video is really a fun one. So if you've been a regular watcher of this channel, you may have seen a video I did a few months ago with Ben Westby, who is a viewer, big friend of Out of Spec, who lives in the western slope of Colorado. He is a public school teacher who lives a kind of interesting off-grid but electrified lifestyle. He's got solar battery backup at home, but he's actually off-grid as well as, of course, an electric vehicle. And recently, he traded his Tesla for a Ford F-150 Lightning, which is the video we did with him last time. I'll put it in the info card. But he got a great deal on that Ford pickup truck, the electric F-150 Lightning. And in this video, he actually reached out to us and said, hey, I'm going to take a road trip with my family, my two dogs, my two kids, my wife. We're going to go to the beach in San Diego, and we're going to use the Tesla Supercharger network on the way because Ben Westby was one of the first customers to receive that official adapter from Ford that allows you to basically use a lot of version 3 Tesla Superchargers with non-Tesla vehicles. Ford was the first non-Tesla automaker to be granted access to the network, and Ben uses that network to take this fun road trip on this, well, fun trip that you're about to see. Now, this is not too long of a video. It's no out of spec motoring 4-hour long odyssey. It should only be about half an hour. Please do enjoy, and keep in mind that Ben is has a full-time job as a public school teacher. He's an actual professional, unlike me. So he does not shoot video for a living. So if there's the occasional audio mishap and technical thing, well, please excuse that. Again, it's not his normal job. Also, at the time he was driving to California, there were record high winds in Colorado, so that really killed his efficiency. So he was really relying on a lot of chargers. So he uses a mix of both, still some CCS, Electrify America stations and some other fast chargers, but mainly tries to stick to Tesla Superchargers with the use of that adapter. So please enjoy this fun kind of experience. And if you're still new to learning about, how non-Tesla vehicles charge on the Tesla network, I think this will be a great primer for you. So please enjoy the video. Thanks again to Ben for filming it for us, and I'll see you sometime soon in another Out of Spec Guide video.
Boo, are we going to go for a car ride? We're going to go to California. Did you know that? Yeah, we're going to go to California. What do you think of that? Do you want to go to California? Should we go to California? You want to go on a car ride? Do you want to go on a car ride too? It's going to be a big, long one.
Hi, I'm Ben Westby, and this is another Out of Spec video. We're not going to be doing a cannonball to Vegas. We aren't going to be racing a bunch of other EV trucks. But what we are going to be showing you is an Out of Spec family road trip to Southern California. We're here in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, and we have our trusty 2023 Ford Lightning XLT trim standard range battery pack. We are a family of 4, and we're going to have 2 dogs. We've got bikes loaded up, scooters, suitcases, espresso machine, a George Foreman grill for doing tailgates at a charger. We have all the things packed that we need for this trip, and we are going to be doing it with the Ford and Tesla partnered NACS adapter. Most of our trip is going to be mostly on the Tesla Supercharging network. There's going to be a few places that are bottlenecked just to CCS charging for the time being. But we're going to take a trip as a family on our spring break holiday and see how well does our Lightning hold up while traveling on the Tesla Supercharger network to Southern California. We have done this exact route many times before, but in a Tesla Model 3 standard range. So for us, as a family of 4 and a couple dogs, this is a huge upgrade. So on this video, we're going to be highlighting all the comforts that a Ford Lightning has, hey goat, and all the abilities that we have to access a wide variety of charging networks as we get ready to head out to Southern California. But first, I gotta wrangle my herd here a little bit because someone's a little jealous that she can't come with us on our trip. Well, we got the goats put away and we are getting ourselves ready. We just had to do a final loadout. We got everything packed. Now it is 5 in the morning and it is time for a really long drive to Southern California. We're gonna try and do this all in one take in our Ford Lightning standard range. Family of 4, a couple of dogs, and everything packed for the beach in the sun. Here we go. Hello, Utah. Goodbye, Colorado. Hey, I'm Ben, and we are at our first EV stop here in Green River on our out-of-spec family road trip. Now, this gave me a little bit of a nervous time because we're traveling, we're not cannonballing, we're with a family, we're on vacation, so any kind of interruptions or problems takes away from our vacation. So we looked at the app before we pulled in, and charger number 1 said was really the only one functioning at 150 kilowatts. But when we plugged in, it didn't connect to the truck. So I backed up over here. Come with me, Liz. Backed up over here, tried charger number 2, and on the app, it said it was derated to just 50 kilowatts. And then it didn't plug into the truck. So I moved in over to stall number 4 here is broken, but stall number 3 here was, back up a bit. Stall number 3 said it would be 50 kilowatts, but we plugged in. It was the first time it actually connected to the truck, and we're actually pulling full power, even though the app said it was only 50 kilowatt possible. So the first stall we tried that the app said was actually available didn't work. The next one that was derated didn't work. This one said it was derated, it's working and giving full power, and number 4 is just turned completely off. So does not make a great family experience, not for Dad. Nobody else in the family really is sweating bullets about it, but at least we're getting full power. But it took a couple tries at different stalls to get it to work. And I'm hoping that the rest of the trip is not like that. Welcome to Richfield, Utah. We were able to sneak past Salina and get ourselves about 20 miles further down the road into Richfield, Utah. There's a version 3 supercharger just got built down the road, but it is not available on the Tesla app. So this is our last Electrify America CCS experience, and I am so freaking thankful because this has been an awful experience on these Western rural Electrify America stations. So first of all, we pulled up to number 2 here, and then it said it was derated even on the screen, so I didn't even give that one a try. Popped up on number 3 here, and on number 3 it said a good handshake, jumped in right away, walked into the Walmart here, and then went from 150 boom down to 90 within at around 25%, and I should be at a nice flat 120 130 kilowatts, but nope, up down. So I had a signet surge. I think, I don't even know if these are I'm not Kyle, where I can identify. I haven't used CCS enough to be able to identify what are signet or ABA chargers. So then I moved over, I unplugged and replugged, jumped back up to 140 kilowatts, and then it surged back down. Surged down? That's not quite right, but it dropped back down to 90 kilowatts. So I said, fine, I'll move over to the 150 because I was hoping to get as much voltage as I could out of these right here. And on the 150, I'm holding steady at 122 kilowatts, which I should have been doing at that other station. This has just been an absolute nightmare, and the app is incredibly buggy. So I would cancel a failed handshake, but my app is still doing the initializing charge screen and won't cut out of it. And so I have to quit the app, go back into the app. The app is still showing the initialized charging. So then I turn off my Wi-Fi and stuff to make the app think that it's not connected. And it's a very buggy, very frustrating situation. I told my wife from here on out, we're going to be on Tesla Superchargers. And she was like, oh, thank goodness, because this has been a nightmare. And this has only been two stations. For a lot of people who have to rely on Electrify America for the whole length, no, thank you. This is an awful experience. So Electrify America, you really need to get in here and you need to work on these rural chargers because this is a mess. Well, we have finally gotten to our third charging stop, and thankfully from here on out, it is all Tesla. As you can see right over here, we are charging and we are at 80%. So that means that our charging rate is going to be significantly decreased based off of the Ford charging curve that we all are familiar with. But we are now thankfully going to be able to make the complete rest of the drive from here, from Cedar City, Utah, all the way to Carlsbad, California, purely on the Tesla Charger Super Network. And we've had a terrible 2 charging experiences with Electrify America. So we are all really thankful to be here at the Tesla Charger. We used the Pro Power, grilled up some burgers, and on our next stop, we're going to use Pro Power and make some lattes. So we're going to hit the road and make our way off to the next stop. But this Tesla Supercharging session was perfect and very seamless, and we are very thankful to have that on the road. All right, we'll see you at the next stop. So we're checking in here at Henderson, Nevada. In my last video, I mentioned that we'd be in California, but we actually had to make a pit stop here in the greater Las Vegas area. This seems to be a brand new supercharger available for NACS adapted cars, but it's a big kind of construction site, so there's not a whole lot here for a family to do. But we're charging up a little bit higher than normal because we've been hitting 40-mile-an-hour winds, and our efficiency has just been absolute trash. Even with the warming temperature, we just haven't been able to get the distance and ranges that we were hoping to have, but that's totally fine. We're on vacation. We're not cannonballing. We're just going to be getting to a hotel tonight, and tomorrow's supposed to be raining, so we're not really even in a huge rush to get to where we need to be. But for a family that's definitely traveling cross country, you do have to consider the fact that it does take longer. But it's been really great for our family. We do stretch breaks. We've been walking our dogs. We've been kind of exploring new areas, and so it hasn't really been that much of a hassle to have to do a couple more charging stops than planned. But we're now about to get into the California border, and we're either going to make it all the way to Yermo, depending on the wind, or we'll have to stop in Baker and use an Electrify America, because the Baker station there does not allow us to plug into a Tesla station as of the moment. But keep checking in with us, and we're going to keep on moving on to the coast. All right, girls, we are doing our big, long road trip. We got a couple dogs, a couple kids, a couple adults, all of our stuff. We're going to the ocean for spring break, and we are more than halfway on our trip. We're actually only just a little bit away from the coast. And as we've had a full day of road tripping, I'm going to ask you, girls, what has been like the most comfortable or like the best part about doing this road trip in the Lightning? I'm going to ask Ari first.
I'd say the best thing about the F-150 is just having so much space with both dogs, my sister, and having pillows and stuff and everything I need, and still having space for both dogs.
Yeah. How about like charging your devices?
There's many charge ports I can use in case something is almost dead, and it's just really nice to be able to plug something in and not have to worry about it.
Awesome. Lizzie, what do you think?
I think it's pretty good. There is a lot of space, like Ari said, including with the dogs, and like you can actually like sleep in here even if like the whole back is crowded, because we have a lot of space, and it's just really good.
Nice. And Blue, what do you think? I really like being able to sit with my girls and go for car rides. Blue, yep, that's right. Okay, we are in California and we are supercharging, but as you can see, it is incredibly windy here. Our efficiency has been nothing but awful, and we're doing the best we can with what we have, and we're doing fairly well as a family. The Lightning has held up as a fantastic family trip. We only have one more charge left, and that will get us to our hotel with some left over so we can go drive around tomorrow and not worry about charging. But we came up, we had 90% when we left Las Vegas area and got here at Yermo, California with like 4% left in the battery. So we had to use a ton of battery just to drive 120 miles. And we're gonna probably have to do the same thing again. We're 160 miles from the beach, and we'll be able to do it with one charge remaining, but it's only because of this insane wind. If we didn't have this insane wind, we actually could get to our hotel from here. But conditions change. If we were in a regular F-150, I bet we'd be lucky if we were getting 10 miles to the gallon. But right now, we're going to wrap up our charging session and hit the road and hopefully be able to navigate this wind. Following us on the trip so far, I'm going to be doing a little bit of some backseat driving here, so to speak. We pulled up to the hotel really late at night, and I was pretty tired. And this is an out-of-spec family trip, and so sometimes in a family, you got to help take care of the kids, unload the truck, get the dogs, and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, you forgot to have made a video. So I'm going to give a brief summary here, just midway through the video here, of just kind of what that first leg of driving was for us. We drove all day from Western Colorado to California, and we ultimately had driven 900 miles, and we needed 7 charging stops. Now, there's a variety of route planning apps and websites out there, and I was expecting to do maybe 5 or 6 charging sessions. Unfortunately, we just, as you can tell from the videos, we just met some pretty crazy headwinds pretty consistently throughout the day. We had a headwind of 30 miles an hour, but then there were some sections that basically went from southern Utah almost all the way to the coast of California, and we had 40-mile-an-hour winds coming right at us, and we're driving a brick. I mean, there's very little aero in an F-150 Lightning. But we had essentially 7 charging stops over 900 miles, and the total cost for that leg was $174 in charging. Now, the reason why I bring that up is that in this out-of-spec family video, families really care about budgeting when they're on a family vacation. You really need to be mindful of what you're spending when you're traveling with a family. And this is one thing to highlight, is that as we go through this trip, it is cheaper than gas, but the penalty is that we are stopping pretty frequently for charging. Now, if we didn't have these headwinds, if we had an extended range truck, we probably could have made that a far shorter trip. But as you can tell, I'm an elementary school teacher. My budget only goes so far in purchasing an electric vehicle, or any vehicle for that matter. And so, this is the card that we were dealt, and that's the one we played. And it still worked for us. I understand that not for everyone who wants to stop that frequently, but for we as a family with our children and with our animals, no matter gas or electric, we would be stopping fairly frequently. We just may not have been stopping for as long every one time that we stopped. But, ultimately, when we got to the end of our drive, my body didn't feel exhausted. I didn't feel wiped. I probably could have kept driving for a little while longer if I really needed to. But ultimately for our family, the rhythms of driving on a standard range electric vehicle have not been so detrimental that we have decided we need to switch to an ICE vehicle or save up and buy an extended range battery pack. Would that be nice? For sure. Is that how we want to spend our money? No, not really. Not in the sense of what we prioritize. So for us, 7 stops, $174. It would have been a little bit less if we didn't have those headwinds. But ultimately, that first leg was overall successful. And as you could tell from the videos, our Tesla charging sessions were seamless. They were quick, full power, no failed sessions. And our 2 Electrify America sessions that we had to deal with did not go well and involved a lot of stress. And if we had to do this whole trip on Electrify America, I probably wouldn't do a long distance trip again. Not until Electrify America did anything drastic. But the advent of the NACS adapter really made this possible, and we really loved being able to stop at the different places that a Tesla Supercharger is at, because there's a wide variety of things to do at a Tesla Supercharger. And there's so many Tesla Superchargers, you don't always have to stop at the same one coming back. And we'll talk about that at the end of this video. But we're going to continue on our family road trip. Okay, so we have been on vacation in pretty much mostly sunny California. And we have been hoping to use the truck's Pro Power to sort of help us save some money. And one of the ways is we spend money on coffee and eating out a lot when we're on vacation. And one of the things that the Lightning has kind of helped us do is we brought our Nespresso machine from home with our milk frother. We brought our George Foreman grill. And so we've been able to, using the Pro Power from the truck, make lattes, grill burgers and hot dogs. We basically have been able to take a little mini kitchen with us. I mean, we literally could, if we wanted to, put a mini fridge in the bed of the truck to carry a bunch of cold items, even while driving. So this has been pretty cool to have, and we're pretty excited about what this means for future road trips on our family's dime. So we're here in Solana Beach, and we are charging at a brand new Tesla Supercharger. So something that's really interesting is the growth of the Supercharger network. Now, we like to come here very often into this particular region because there's a beach about 2 minutes from here called the Del Mar Dog Beach. And it's a long stretch of beach where dogs can be off leash this time of year. Our kids can run around with our dogs. And as you can see, it's still fairly empty. I'm not really blocking anyone because I'm taking this corner spot here. But this Supercharger was not here last year during our visit when we came in our Tesla Model 3. And this would have been so helpful for us because it is minutes away from our favorite beach, and our favorite coffee shop is a 5-minute walk from here. And so we were able to luckily get this Supercharger that was NACS acceptable. And so we got and not only that, we're doing off-rate charging this morning. We put in from 20% to 80%. No, we're at 90% right now. And it's only cost us $18. It's so cheap to be able to get off-rate charging. So one of the huge benefits of an urban Tesla Supercharger is different rates of peak charging costs. And if you can time it right, you can get your supercharging incredibly affordable, especially when you got such a big battery pack that's in this Lightning. So we are going to unplug, and we're going to spend the morning at the beach. It's our daughter's 12th birthday today. We're going to go watch a baseball game. We're a baseball family. We're going to watch the San Diego Padres play against the Mariners at Petco Stadium, and enjoy Dog Beach, where our kids and dogs can go run around and enjoy the sunshine. Welcome to an out-of-spec tailgate party. We're here at Dog Beach at Del Mar, California. We've got volleyball games, we've got Dog Beach. We've been here for the day, but now it's dinner time. And usually we would have to kind of pack up, go out to a restaurant, or just eat some deli sandwiches. But here with the Ford F-150 and most electric vehicles, where we have a power source where we can pull from the battery pack, we brought our George Foreman grill so that we could grill burgers right off from the truck. We've grilled hot dogs. We've used it to make espressos and lattes. And we're just kind of having a tailgate party on one of our last days here in California. And so we're going to enjoy the sunset. We're going to be able to enjoy the day here in one spot without really having to worry about finding other places to eat. And we went grocery shopping ahead of time, so we got all the ingredients that we really wanted to enjoy. And so now here we are as a family, just enjoying a beautiful evening in sunny California on the beach, and just being able to make some great family memories here. So the Ford F-150 Lightning with Pro Power, most electric vehicles that have some sort of power outlet in the bed or the front, really allows families to enjoy a really long road trip and really unlock some new features that allow them to just enjoy one place as a family without having to worry about moving and grooving and just kind of having to worry about that next meal. Just load up the cooler, come out to the beach, enjoy the day. And that's what we're doing. So we got burgers ready to go, so I'm going to get these guys going. But just wanted to show you that the F-150 Lightning really makes a great family hauler. And we've been able to do this trip without a lot of stress that we normally would have. So we're really thankful for the team at Ford, for the Pro Power, and for being able to make this a great road tripping truck, designing it the way that it is. It's been great for our family. So this is an out-of-spec tailgate here in sunny California. Thanks for joining me and my family on our spring break family road trip in our F-150 Ford Lightning. As you can see from this trip, for our family and for the needs that we needed out of a family road trip, the F-150 Lightning absolutely crushed all of the needs that we needed out of this trip. It certainly wasn't the fastest from point A to point B. We're not cannonballing. We're not trying to hypermile to get every ounce of energy out of it. We're just a family wanting to have a relaxing, enjoyable trip on the road. And this truck absolutely did that for us. So one of the big things and a value that comes out of our family, and most families, I would imagine, on a big, long road trip is comfort, affordability, and budget, especially when trying to go long distances and you're wanting to go somewhere fun. So you want to be able to maximize how much you can spend at a fun place. And then being able to have a sense of reliability and that you have confidence in where you're going to be able to go. The last thing you want to do is to be stranded with children and animals on a length of highway that seems deserted. No family wants that. And so the F-150 really proved itself to my family and I that that's an excellent vehicle to do a family road trip in. We went from that tailgate that you saw on our last day in California. We drove to Cedar City, Utah, and spent the night, and then the following day made it home. Now, the interesting thing is that this trip back to Colorado was a lot more efficient, but we were having a gain of elevation. Ultimately, to get back to Colorado, we needed 6 charging stops. On the way to California, we needed 7 because of those high winds. The interesting thing, though, is for a family on a road trip, especially wanting to do something fun, budget's really important. I mentioned that our first leg to California was $174 in charging costs. Well, our trip in sum total, after driving 2,200 miles round trip, driving around for a while, and then coming back, our total cost was $398, essentially coming to 17 cents per mile, almost 18 cents per mile. That's an equivalent cost of perhaps a minivan, a small SUV. An equivalent gas F-150 would have been closer to 24 cents per mile. So we did save money on a per mile basis. It wasn't significant, but it was a savings. One of the things that I do know is that not everyone wants to go as slow as we did. No one wants to really stop as often as we did. But for our family, for our needs, for what we were going to be getting out of this trip, those stops were not an inconvenient to us. We averaged about 28 minutes per charging session, and our longest session was about 44 minutes, based on my notes. Our shortest session on the highway was 22 minutes. If we're driving in a gas car, we're still stopping almost as frequently as we were because we could only go about 2 hours or so, and then someone in the family needs to stop. And if we're stopping, we might as well stretch our legs, might as well grab a snack, might as well, get up and move around a little bit. And so for us, charging in a stop for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes is a perfect amount of time for us to be able to do a long extended trip not feel exhausted at the end of it, and feel like we all had a chance to explore and see something new, get some good rest out of it, and make sure that we enjoyed the actual trip travel. I know it's not for everyone, and that's okay, but for this trip, the F-150 Lightning standard range was absolutely appropriate for what our needs were and how those needs were met. So I just want to thank you for joining us on this trip. We took 11 stops at a Tesla Supercharger, 5 stops at Electrify America. Every Electrify America station had an issue. Not one single time at a Tesla Supercharger did we have a failed session or a broken stall or a line. And one thing I do want to note, some people are concerned about an F-150 Lightning or another electric vehicle having to block more than one stall. That was not our situation on this trip. Only once out of those 11 Tesla sessions did we end up blocking 2 stalls, and that was because of how the Tesla cars were parked at an every other stall situation. But for the most part, there was either a pull-through, or there was a corner stall that we were able to take advantage of, or there was a middle stall in a separation of 4 stalls that we were able to park in and not block anybody. So I was really impressed that we were able to do this trip without really being a nuisance to other Tesla owners, while also still having access ourselves without really any party having a bad charging experience. So it was affordable, more so than our gas car would have been. It was comfortable. It was at a pace that we wanted to go at. And thanks to the Ford and Tesla partnership with the NACS adapter, it was reliable, it was consistent, and it was smooth. So I just want to thank you for joining us on this trip, and want to look forward to showing off other road trips that we do all for Out of Spec and for how our family uses electrical vehicles in the high elevation Rockies in the state of Colorado. So have a good day and stay safe on the road.